Hi again, guys. Today I thought I might just do a little talk on catching dolphin fish, like here off the Gold Coast. It has been a great dolphin fish season. They've been here all seasons, I mean all winter and now summer, surprisingly. There have been quite a lot of fads put out there by the government, which are working very well. But the thing is, every man and his dogs are going to these fads chasing dolphin fish. Some guys are doing really well, don't get me wrong. Some guys are doing exceptionally well and catching a lot of fish, from small to large ones. But a lot of people are missing out. And the simple fact is, the dolphin fish are getting hounded by boats whenever the weather's good. Just getting absolutely hounded. Everyone's doing the same thing, day in, day out. And I think the fish are starting to lay cotton onto this and get sick of saying the same thing. So what I was going to do is just give you a quick rundown on a few different things you can try. Dolphin fish will respond to a lot of different ways of fishing. Like a common way is people put on a pilly and float it out with a current. Used to work very well. Nowadays, not so much. Live bait. Throw a live bait on, swim it past the fads. Still works very well. But there is a couple of tips, or a main tip, that will help you catch more fish with live bait. I pulled up the other day out to a fad and there was two guys live baiting. I could see them throwing live baits, I didn't catch a damn thing. I pulled up with a friend, we done something slightly different with our live baits, we caught two quick ones and disappeared. It's just little tips and tricks and stuff you should try, vary. And dolphin fish will hit a lot of different lures. Like we all know when we go out wide, especially here, summertime, it's dolphin fish, marlin, wahoo season, so skirts always work very well. Even the latest ones coming through with the vinyl skirts, very, very good. They do work well, especially on dolphin fish and marlin. But if you're going to go trawling, you can try something a little bit different. Hard bodies. Dolphin fish respond really well to hard bodies. Put out a pattern of hard bodies. I love these things. And also to wahoo. So while everyone's trawling skirts, do something a bit different. Throw some hard bodies out, troll them around. They do work very well. Another thing is, while you're trolling skirts or hard bodies, wherever you're trolling, have a live bait. Most of us catch live bait on the way out. Have a live bait rigged up in the tank, sitting in the tank, on a rod, ready to go. Live bait on. Just put him back in a live bait tank with a hook in him. And when you do hook up to a dolphin fish, you're pretty sure it's a dolphin fish, and you get up near the boat, generally you'll see his partner. They'll have a partner. Flick a live bait out, and they'll eat it. They will. And then instead of having one dolphin fish, you'll have two. Well, you'll have two hooked up. I don't know how you land them, but two hooked up. Okay. So always when you're trolling, have a live bait ready to go. Next thing is, on the fads, a lot of guys are doing well with like micro jigs. Micro jigs do work, but a lot of guys are doing it. Soft plastics are working well, some days. But you've got to vary your techniques with soft plastics, from using heavy heads that get down deep in a bit of current to light jig heads, let them flutter down. Dolphin fish will respond different days to different techniques. But there's one thing I've never seen anyone do, and I have done it, and it works exceptionally well. A few years ago, the craze took off using sluggos. These big lures for flathead. Okay. But I've known about these for 20 odd years. A friend told me about kingfish. Well, he used to chase kingfish down south and in Sydney Harbour, even in, well, Gold Coast Broadwater. Kingfish respond well to these. So basically, just your sluggos, just your worm hook. Don't worry about a treble on the tail for flat, like you're fishing for flatty. Don't need it. Just as is. And go cast these things around fads, especially if there's not a lot of current. And the whole idea of these, they look like a dying fish. If you work them properly and you twitch a rod, these things will dart, and then they'll just like glide and look like a dying fish. You use these around the fads. Dolphin fish freaking love them. And no one does it. I don't know why. Everyone's like with little plastics and everything else. Try these. These are no sinkers, nothing, just as is, and make sure you get them to glide. They really need to glide, look like a dying fish. Okay, the other thing to do for around the fads, some guys are doing this, little stick baits. And while everyone else is floating live baits and pillies around, throw some little stick baits around. They don't have to be big, because the dolphin fish out there aren't always eating big baits. Like there's fads hold a lot of small bait. That's what they're eating. So little stick baits in the surface work well. And you can upgrade, and you should upgrade the hooks and rings. You can buy heavy duty small hooks and rings for these things, and you will catch rather large dolphin fish. They do work well. Another one of my favourite things to do, and this is something else no one ever does as well, once again, flathead lure. I use this in the float, it's one of my favourite flathead lures. But it's a floating lure, it's got a very small bib, okay, and the action's got a really good action. Well, like you put on a small stiff rod, really rip these things through the water, and it'll dart side to side, and then you just pause it, okay, and it's a slow float, so whatever goes down, it just slowly floats, then twitch really hard. And you can use a current, like if you're up current from the fad, cast it down, work it back towards you, stop, let it float, sink down, then float up, and then just twitch it again. And dolphin fish respond really well to these things too, twitching along the surface, because no one does it. So basically a flathead lure turned dolphin fish lure. Same with the sluggos. Deadly. Another thing people don't do, and you should do, is you've got like these are the latest things from Samaki and a few other companies do them. They're like a resin hard body, like stick bait slush thing. They sink, good casting, so you can cast these things a long way. Let them, instead of widening them fast on the surface like guys do, let them sink right down deep, then crank them back through the water column. Another good way to stir things up. And last but not least, oh it's not last, but one of the main things I do when I'm going out and everyone else is chasing dolphin fish, they're throwing live baits around, I'll do things a bit different. So basically, just like a 6.0 octopus hook, nothing fancy. 30 to 40 fluorocarbon leader, 30 to 40 pound. I think that's 40, but it's not fluorocarbon, but I wasn't re-rigging. So I like a fluorocarbon for the dolphin fish when they're a bit flighty. But instead of hooking them through the eyes like most guys and let them go, and if a bit of tension on there, that pulls their head back and they look a bit unnatural, or putting it through the back, guys, they swim away and then line pulls up tight in the current. They're sideways in the water like this, doesn't look natural. The dolphin fish won't touch them. And what I do is just down under the tail, just put the hook down there, like so. That's it. So when you drop him off the back of the boat, this fish, open your bail arm, this fish is just going to take off down deep. He's just going to swim naturally and just keep going down past the fad, whatever, and just keep swimming naturally. And when he gets down, usually out of sight, they just get swallowed. They really do. It's very rare when I haven't got these, like when I get these baits back. The only downfall to doing a rigging this way is if you have to wind them back up, you're pulling them backwards through the water, the tail will bend over, so you've got to wind slowly. It takes a little bit of time to get them back without, well, you know, killing them. But generally, just hooking them that way, and especially when you're trawling and you see their partners, like your hook one, and their partners with them, or even small black marlin free swimming, this is a very good way to hook your baits. They hit the water, but they're trying to get away from the thing, pull them. So they swim away from you, away from the boat, okay? And they look really natural. It's something to bail on, let them go, and they'll swim freely and natural and look good in the water, and they will get swallowed rigging this way. Okay. And one last thing, like I said, micro jigs work very well. So I've got my micro jigging outfit here, but dolphin fish and most fish species like small bottle squid. It's one of their favourite eating foods. They love small squid. So these are like a chase bait. You know, chase baits got those little squids. I just rig them up a bit differently. I put a barrel sinker in the middle with a bit of cord through a ring, and then on the other end I've got my hooks. So I've got another ring. So I tie a couple of rings to some cord through the swivel, and then I've got a bead and a couple of assist hooks tied to a split ring up in here. And I drop this down and just work it slowly with my soft micro jig rod. It's like a little bottle squid. And then dolphin fish love this thing. And speaking of dolphin fish, I've got snapper on these, pearlies, all sorts. These these are good little jigs. They really are. When you buy the chase baits, they've got a mould you can sit these things in with similar sort of hooks. But I don't like all the lead and chunk on the outside, so I put all mine inside. You can see it's inside. Bit of cord, a couple of rings, and you're good to go. Not hard to rig. And look at that, with anything sticking out of hooks, you can barely even see them. And try things like that around the fads for the dolphin fish. It's basically it. I just wanted to give you a couple of different options to try for the dolphin fish. Like I said, I haven't showed you the plastics and everything else because everyone does with plastics. The micro jigs, everyone does micro jigs, just that squid's a little bit different. Trawling skirts, pretty much stock standard. Like I said, these things are new. or newish. They're coming out now with vinyl skirts. These are ones I do myself. And I also work, dolphin fish really do like them. They respond well. I'm going to start experimenting with some silver ones and some brighter ones. I'll let you know how they go. Like I said, just change things up. Take out some flathead lures. Very well. Good old, more heavy slugs and these resin slugs. But don't cast them on the surface. Let them sink right down deep, working through the water column like you do for mackerel. Stick bait's great if there's not too many boats around. And if you do get some live bait, hook him through the tail. Let him swim naturally. You'd be surprised. You'll outfish the other guys around you doing that. Well, that's about it for this one. Hopefully you picked up a couple of tips there, or this gave you an idea of something new to try. And good luck with the rest of the season. Thanks guys. Bye.